Hello, it's Mrs. Smith here to talk to you today about some fractions. So we're going to start with 5.1 on multiplying algebraic fractions. Hey, did you know that 4 out of every 3 people have trouble with fractions? Anyway, so we're going to get started. I'm going to close me so that way I'm not in your way, and we're going to get started with looking at multiplying fractions. Okay, so when we look at this, the big idea here is algebraic fractions are multiplied in the same way you multiply numeric fractions. So we're going to review this, so even if you forget how to multiply numeric fractions, I'm going to be here to help you with this today. So let's get a pen and get started. So in mathematics, remember that division is represented by a fraction. So over here we have all of these great fractions. We have the fraction 1/2, we have the fraction 1/4, 1/3, 1/8, and all of these, it's taking something and dividing it into pieces. So think about fraction and division in the same sort of region of mathematics. Okay, so an algebraic fraction. If we start off with just an algebraic fraction, it's any fraction that has a variable. So a divided by b, or 7 divided by x, or perhaps x divided by 7, or even something like x plus 2 over y minus 3. So an algebraic fraction is just that, a fraction with a variable in either the numerator, the denominator, or both. Right, so when we multiply algebraic fractions, we're going to use the same rules when we multiplied numeric fractions. So if I want to multiply the algebraic fraction a divided by b times the fraction c divided by d, you know what, I probably better say that b and d are not 0 because we don't want to divide by 0. That's a problem. So if a divided by b and c divided by d are any other numbers other than 0 here, we're going to get this nice fraction where we multiply the numerators together, a times c over b times d. We multiply the denominators together. So that's the steps for multiplying algebraic fractions. Remember, the division bar is a grouping symbol. So we group this all together, and in the numerator we have a times c, or ac, and in the denominator we have b times d, or bd. So let's try these with some actual examples. So here, example 1. L divided by 4 times W divided by 3. So these are algebraic fractions because there's variables in the numerators of both of them. So if I want to multiply these, I'm going to multiply my numerators together, L times W, and my denominators together, 4 times 3. So when I put this all together, I get LW divided by 12. Because L times W is the same as LW, and 4 times 3 is just the number 12. And I want you to notice here that LW divided by 12, sometimes it may be useful for us to write this as 1/12 LW. So these are equivalent because in the numerator here you don't really see this 1 because 1 times anything is itself. So we can write 1 times LW or 1/12 LW, so it's the same no matter how we look at it, which will be helpful for this example here. Let's check this multiplication with what's called an area model. Right, so with an area model, we're going to start off with just this big rectangle. And we're going to let the side of one of these be L and the side of the other be W. So we can multiply two sides to find the area. Remember, to find area, we take length times width. Okay, but notice I have these fractions. I want to come up with the fraction L divided by 4. So if I come down here to my area model, I can take L and divide it into fourths. So each of these little pieces here are L divided by 4. 1/4 L for each piece. Okay, I'm going to go back up to my area model, and I also want to find W divided by 3. Which means I'm going to break W up into thirds. So each of these pieces is W divided by 3, 1/3 W, 1/3 W. All right, so when we multiplied our fractions, L divided by 4 times W divided by 3, it's like taking L divided by 4 times W divided by 3 in our area model, which when we multiply for area, it's going to fill in the space here. And notice what we get in that red box here. If we count up all of the boxes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We broke up this entire rectangle into 12ths, and this shaded region of our multiplication represents 1/12 of LW, the entire rectangle. So it's one visual representation that'll help you sort of conceptualize multiplying by fractions. So hopefully this gets you started in how we're going to multiply. Let's try one more example. Let's show that each of the following expressions equal 5x divided by 3. So let's look at the first one, 5/3 x. Well, if we want to turn x into a fraction, we can think of x as this one right here as x over 1. So if we multiply these by multiplying across, we get 5x divided by 3. Okay, so that one worked. Let's go to B and try that one. So 1/3 times 5x. So just like above, we have our 1/3, but we can take 5x and we can write it as 5x over 1. When you don't see a denominator, there's an implied denominator of 1. We use our rule for multiplying algebraic fractions. We multiply across the numerator. So 1 times 5x is 5x. And we multiply across the denominator. 3 times 1 is 3. So we got, again, 5x divided by 3. Okay, let's try the last one. 5 times x divided by 3. So just as before, we can write 5 as 5 divided by 1, and then we can take that times x divided by 3. And this time, we multiply across, we get 5 times x is 5x, and in the denominator 1 times 3 is 3. So each time we were getting 5x divided by 3. So notice these are 3 ways to write the same thing. So with algebraic fractions, let's just review our rules. With algebraic fractions, we multiply the numerators together and the denominators together, and we can combine it into one fraction.